Hey, hello. So, welcome to today's analysis of the NQ and the ES. It is 2nd of October, 2024. Wow, well, some things to unpack here. It might be a bit longer today. Right, let's start with the mess of yesterday. Well, okay, what did I say could happen? I didn't expect this. I was expecting this high to be taken. And here, this was China's high. I was expecting this to be taken. Even though yesterday in my analysis I said, this could be the one time that UK listens to the precedent set by Asia. They were making a run for it, and they didn't take it. This was my short. I took a few trades yesterday. It was a bit of a mixed day. UK opened. It came right into the block that I was looking for, this 5-minute one, and it took liquidity in, and I got my model. I didn't enter long here because I'm normally still at work around this time, but that's okay. I've learned how to navigate the UK session in a way that I can let that first move happen and not be too worried. But anyway, we took this liquidity and we pushed up, and then we took a small bit of this internal liquidity. So I knew that the bias was bullish for the UK session, right? So based on my understanding of how this kind of situation can work out, I took a few scalps here. These were pretty nice. This was a 3.5 taken to here, and then a retrace here. This is 1.3. Then I got in the long, which I had to target this high. And wouldn't you know, I was nicely in profit, and I had my stop at break even, and they just said no. They just came straight back down. So I didn't take profit on this, unfortunately. I was a bit greedy. But also, I mean, yeah, we had money flow coming out, but normally this kind of situation doesn't lead to this kind of move, right? Now, in hindsight, on the higher time frames, we had printed a hidden div, and money flow was really coming out. You can see, well, maybe on the higher time frames, I think it's like the 4 hour. It's just kind of probably a manifestation of the higher time frame moves. It wasn't the 4 hour, the 1 hour. I saw that we printed, yeah, here, right? So the money flow was green all the way down here. Money flow was actively coming out. I was just looking for a div here, and they didn't give it to me. Anyway, I thought that if we did push up, this block wouldn't last, and that we would come into this breaker. We didn't even make it to the block. We just rejected. Okay, that's fine. I was aware of this liquidity down here. I knew that it could be a target. I just thought they would bring it up before they came back in. But that's okay. I actually took a little short here, and if I left this, I'd be very well off at the moment. But it's okay. I was really happy with this. The 3.8. It's down to here before US Open. God knows what will happen in US Open. So I'll take my trades that I'm comfortable with a good TP here, right? That was my day. New York opened. I watched this happen. I did not interact with it. It's not what I trade. Not my style. So what has happened? Well, we took the last Friday's low, And we've come into the 50% of the RTH gap here, right? 50%, we just tapped it. We still have a lot to go before we fill it. The worry is this area, if it comes very low into here and maybe breaks that low, this area holding, I'm not super sold on it anymore. Now we could just fill the gap if we create some nice structure, like bullish structure, to maybe recover this this imbalance or something like that. Sure, but my levels that I have here are actually within the gap. Doesn't mean they can't work, but it's looking less likely to me that they will. If we do come down here. If we come down here, I feel like all of this is going to be hit too. Personally. So yeah, we're in a bit of a situation where it could kind of just capitulate back into this this gap here. But yeah, this isn't looking amazing just because the gap is there, right? If they're going to fill this gap, they will fill this gap, and they will fill it fully, I would imagine, you know. What do we have down here? Is there anything? I mean, it's just ascending. This consolidation was fine. It's kind of back here. Do I have any VAs around there? I'm going to be expecting this guy to do something. I mean, we could take all of this. The value area lows down here, volume gap here, control, bit of high volume node, but this imbalance, I don't know. God knows where they'll stop here if they come into it. There's a 4-hour order block down here. And it led to the change of character. Also a vector there. So let's do 4-hour OB. And it's also past range value area low. And there's also a volume gap there. So I'm going to mark this range is value area low as well. This range value area low. Sure. So we tapped actually off the point of control of this past area. Could we get some retraces here? Sure. Yeah, we could, but I want them to prove to me that they've absorbed in this gap enough to see a small retracement up into the imbalance we've just made. If they just keep moving down in here, yeah, I don't know. We don't have any gaps below us, which is good. So they could come fill this gap and then move back up into this gap. So we could be bearish for the rest of the week. There's a chance. Today's Wednesday. They like to pull some crazy stuff sometimes on Wednesdays. And it's non-farm payroll week. So it's a good week as ever to make the market go even more crazy. And we have a breaker down here. I'm still kind of interested in this area, but for scalps, I would say. I don't know if I'm going to necessarily ride a lot of moves here very far. I don't normally do that anyway, but I might just be a bit more conservative. We have a volume gap here around that point of control. If we come into here and we spend maybe half a day in here, I'll have a look. So what happened today? Well, let's look at structure from US. So, well, actually, we need to look at our overall structure, I think. So this was the last pivot point that I have in my brain for a change of character. And I would say that this is a bearish change of character. or sorry, break a structure. And I guess it shows up on the 1 hour. So let's do this. Bearish break a structure. Our change of character was back there. Actually, I'm going to keep this to this chart. I like doing my hourly analysis and my smaller analysis on different charts. So we have that. Our change of character was kind of here. This guy. I'm going to mark this guy as the change of character. This one. We did make that. That was really ugly structure, you know. It was just, and when we had on the ES, actually it kind of makes a bit more sense. We had that SMT, which is kind of annoying that I still thought we could come back up, but this area that I was looking for to be hit on the NQ was hit on the ES, right? I was looking for it to come up to here into this breaker area, and all of that kind of PA had already happened. So it does make sense that they pushed it down, right? It does make sense. I missed it. I was a bit too hung up on the fact we could come higher on the NQ. I gotta prioritize my ES, my ESTA a bit more. ESTA, S&P 500 technical analysis. I should prioritize that a bit more. Yeah. Anyway, so we had the breaker structure. Now we're inside of here. So again, we can dance around in here and still be bearish. This was the low liquidity breaker structure. This one as well is a break, but this is kind of the source of this bullish pull, right? Could we swing fail here? Sure, we could. But with this gap below us, I don't know. I'd be a bit cautious trading today, just by the situation that we're in. I would like to see them prove that they are accumulating here and then make the break up to maintain this greater area or greater uptrend. Problem is, the same thing that we had here is kind of going on here. So you remember yesterday I was talking about the fact that my eyes are being drawn here. Even though we technically changed character, I wasn't sold. The same thing's happening here. Like, this is a 4-hour break. This is our 1 hour change of character, right? So our source of this overall bullish structure is down here, right? We have an anchored VWAP here. We have that 4-hour order block. We have a volume gap here. They can come into here massively and maintain our, being bullish. Don't think they can't do that. They can do this over and over and over again. These big drops into hitting, large bids that are down here. So, yeah, definitely just go with the trend with this now. Like I would say for a while, but be aware that they can pull it back up to pull it back down. Locally, what happened? Well, Sydney opened here, so we have a very local change of character. I'm not the biggest fan of it, so I'm gonna call it kind of low liquidity change because low liquidity because okay, there was not a very convincing wash here. This took equal highs, fine. Came down again. This took that, but this low before the break, I'm not super sold on. So I'm just gonna say this is kind of like a question mark change character in my eyes. What happened? Sydney took a small bit of liquidity, pushed down into this kind of local demand area. Hong Kong. Tokyo opened, Hong Kong opened. I took a short on Hong Kong. I was working, so I didn't keep it open. But I was pretty happy with this. Exiting at this consolidation, they kept bringing it down. And you know what? With the way that this is set up, they could just bring it straight down into filling the gap. Hey, honestly, I knew this had potential to go lower, but I was working, and I gotta stay disciplined. If I see profit and I'm not paying attention fully to the charts, and it's at an area that there's even the smallest chance that it could bounce and hit my my stop loss, I'm just gonna take it because because I'm doing other things. But I could have left this open, and you know that would have been fine. But hey, I don't mind. So where are we? Well, we're at the 50%. Money flow is looking like it's kind of struggling a small bit. We could put in a hidden money flow div here and dance around inside here. But overall, I would say, let's see, money is coming out pretty aggressively. As in, they are legitimately selling. That's what I think. What would I want to look for? I'd be looking for absorption in this gap, lower into this gap, really, before thinking about longs. Now, I'm a scalper. I can take retracement longs, but even then, like, I think I'm pretty cautious here. Yeah, there was a small bit of mitigation on US. So US came back up into this block, and it took liquidity here. And this is an okay wash. I don't mind this one. This block as well, that was a nice block. This one, this 3 minute that they came into. I would call it mitigated, but hey, let's keep it around for now. Also the point of control, actually, yeah. And there was a previous structural point. So that's not bad. I will say that this took liquidity. It took more on the actual NQ. What did that look like on the ES? Oh yeah, no, I don't mind that as a mitigation, you know. So yeah, I think we could take these lows. Yeah, I'm not super sold on money flow here, really. They could pull some dirty business down here and make it all very very vague and farm some internal liquidity. This is a mitigation of an FEG, and it's a liquidity grab, so I'm going to mark that. This FEG has been tapped. Very small amount, but it has been tapped. This whole thing is a block on the 4 hour, and it's pretty mitigated. It's pretty used already, right? So they brought it up, and then they brought it back down just to tap it and then move away, right? I know mitigation is probably not the word to use, because mitigation is the softening of something, right? But perhaps it's people who were short here, who were trailing their stops, their positions were mitigated because they were given a chance to get out of a bad position, right? But anyway, it was tapped and used a bit. It was tested. Now we're testing it again. We're coming into it. We could absorb into it, and if they have enough liquidity built inside here, it's still valid, you know. But just be aware of this gap that we're in. We tapped this one, we used it, and now it seems like we're coming aggressively for this one. So yeah, until I'm really sure that they're done with this gap, I'm staying away from bigger longs. happened in Asia today? So Asia took Sydney's high, and we came into that block, that lovely block that I saw. It was a 1 minute block. We took liquidity into it. It was into this one. So yeah, we took Sydney's high. Now the Asian session is not finished, but for now I'm going to mark this as Hong Kong's high. And this down here would be Sydney's low. The Asian session is not finished, so marking these a bit early is not the best idea. But this is what we have for now. This is the highest point that Asia has reached at this stage, so I'll mark that. Do we have anything above? I saw that we had in this area, the mitigation area, I'll call it. This guy, we had a block in here. Where is it? I mean, I guess this is the closest wash that we have. Where was this block? Looked better than that. Don't like any of these. I don't like them. No. Never mind. I don't know if this area would hold. We do have a bit of a liquidity curve here, but it seems like they have done an okay job of filling orders in here. Not a huge fan. Not a huge fan. I like this block here. Now I know there's equal highs there, but on the E-mini, this had a little wash. You see that? A little boop, and then down. And it led straight to a break of structure. I like this one. I think it shows up in the 2 minute as well. No, it does not. Nope, just a little 1 minute block. I'm gonna mark it out because I like the look of it. This one. And it's unused. And it led to an internal break, which is fine. That's better than nothing. It's some validity. Okay. Let's see. This point retested, and then we had a break structure, and now we're kind of inside. Let's bring it to the break of structure. Value area high is above. A volume gap here. It's right above China's high. Yeah, I'd be cautious of maybe kind of cautious taking trades here. If we get closes down here and they pull some of those bullshit short squeezes into this, maybe I'll take it. But we have vectors above us, so yeah, I'll see. Does this look better on the outside? You know, I guess this is a block that did mitigate. I just want to see something better than just one block. Don't like that. Don't like any of this. No, I don't know if that's going to hold. Yeah, I'll have to see. Nothing concrete in this area for me. We have a bit of vector. We could recover here, but whether that's enough to bring us down, I don't know. If this is tapped by UK Open before any other external liquidity is tapped, there's a chance that I will use that as a bearish precedent, but only in that circumstance. The closer it gets to US, the less likely I'd be willing to take shorts from this area, from right there. Okay, what did ES do? ES did not take as much liquidity. What about ES's gap? Oh, man. Oh no, it's still really big. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I can't stop thinking about this huge RTH gap, guys. So, more downside as possible. Definitely. Whether they do that in UK or not, I don't know. They might need to build more liquidity here. They might want to build more liquidity here. So they could bring it up for UK and then to smash it down again for US, or if they bring it down for UK, they could bring it up for US and be like, oh my god, midweek reversal, right? It always happens every time. It doesn't always happen, but yeah, we'll see. Yeah, not much else to say. Not much else to say. We're kind of in limbo here. I would say we're basically at the 50%, are we? Oh, guess we're in demand, right? Demand. I would like to see them come a bit lower into this gap, and show some accumulation. But from here to here, yeah, okay. I guess coming into long territory. I like this gap here. I like this volume gap down here. If I see very convincing stuff down here, I might be convinced to take a long. Until then, I'm going to look for liquidity grabs to go with this big extension down. There probably is another leg on it, to be fair. Right. Drop, retrace, drop again, distribute, or sorry, accumulate, and then reverse it, right? That kind of thing. So I don't think this is done. We're playing with structure here. We didn't get closes on the hour under this, right? So they could. This is liquidity taken, but because of the nature of this, and we're just after having a break of structure, and because this pull is bigger, I could see them kind of doing. Oh, geez, they wouldn't do that. Kind of doing something like this. They could do that, and then bring it down again, right? And bring it down once more, tap it, and then do the W, right? Something like that. Drag it out. Build bids or build offers in here. Well, I mean, build stop losses in here, and accumulate down into this gap. Maybe tap the high volume node or the point of control of this, and then get a reversal, something like that. That's what I'd be looking for. Because all of that would be liquidity. Because of the pull that we're in now, the larger pull, they can go push, and then reverse it, right? So that's what I'd be looking for. That kind of accumulation at these lows would be pretty nice. And I would just maybe ride it into the fair value gap. I wouldn't be too greedy with a long. At maximum, like into the fair value gap, right? This big imbalance. Anyway, yeah, that's what I have today. I mean, I think I don't know, pretty bearish. Like, I don't think it's time yet for any reversals. I could be wrong, of course, but I don't know. It seems like they have unfinished business down here. So let's see what they do. I'm curious. Will this last? If this double bottom, like, I mean, they're not even double bottom. Hell with that. These equal lows on Sydney's low. If that lasts, if this holds, and then they push up, that'd be kind of crazy. I don't know. I just take a few scalps today. Everything's a bit hectic. You know, there's war, strikes. There's a lot of emotion going on in the markets at the moment. I did pretty well this week. I'm in no huge rush to be jumping on big trades, right? I'll get a few scalps, I'm sure, but that's my style. So yeah, just be careful very emotional, impulsive pushes down, and just know that we're not finished with this gap, and we're coming right into it. So there is reason for them to push down more. So money flow backs it up. Anyway, happy trading, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow.